Hello guys, you are awesome. Fact versus presence. Children's remembered their past life. Have you ever heard about children who remember their past lives? The notion that the soul is immortal is not unfamiliar to any religion we humans have ever invented. Despite some anecdotal claims to the contrary, research suggests that people aren't able to remember their births. The inability to remember early childhood events before the age of 3 or 4, including birth, is called childhood or infantile amnesia. Some parents may be comforted to know that the vast majority of these children stop talking about a previous life by the time they are 5 to 7 years old. In many cases, however, as children get older they do not even remember that they ever talked about a past life. Hanan Mansour and Suzanne Ghanem. Hanan Mansour was born in Lebanon in 1930s, and by the time she was 20, she married a policeman named Farouk. She gave birth to 2 girls, Leila and Gallery. During the second pregnancy, Hanan experienced heart problems, but she decided not to listen to the doctors and became pregnant for the 3rd time. In 1962, her 3rd child came into the world, this time, a son. During this period, she told her husband that she was going to be reincarnated and have lots to say about her previous life. A year later, her health condition worsened and she had to go through an operation. Hanan flew to Richmond, Virginia, where she died while recovering from the operation. Before dying, she tried to make a telephone call to her daughter Leila. She never reached her. 10 days after Hanan died, Suzanne Ghanem was born. At the age of only 16 months, Suzanne picked up a telephone and was constantly repeating, "Hello Leila." At the time her family didn't understand what was going on, but as Suzanne grew, she was able to identify 13 family members from her past life. The 2 families met and Farouk accepted Suzanne as a member of his own family. They were in contact for the rest of his life. Rashid Kadej and Daniel Jurdi. On a sunny day in 1968, a mechanic named Rashid Kadej got into a car with his friend Ibrahim and went for a ride. They drove to the military beach in Beirut, but unfortunately, the driver lost the control of the vehicle. Both men died on the spot. 1 year later, a boy named Daniel Jurdi was born. His first words were Ibrahim. As a 2-year-old, Daniel repeatedly claimed that he wanted to go home, that his parents were not his real parents and that he didn't have a father because his real father was dead. He also claimed that his father's name was Naim. As it turned out, Naim was the name of the Rashid's father. While driving with his mother near the place where Rashid had died, little Daniel recognized the place and told his mother, "This is where I died." Years later, the 2 families met. Daniel recognized Rashid's sister as his sister without ever seeing her before. He also knew that Rashid's favorite fruit was a banana. Strangely enough, Rashid's family had stopped eating bananas because it evoked memories of him. Daniel still has a car phobia due to his experiences in his previous life. Anne Frank and Barbo Carlin. Perhaps one of the saddest stories we all remember from our childhood is Anne Frank's story. An innocent young girl hiding from the Nazis in the attic for years, only to be captured and executed in the concentration camp. A horrible story that informed us of the horrors people had to go through during one of the most terrible wars in history. As many of you know, Anne died in 1945 in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. 9 years later, a little girl named Barbo came into this world. As soon as she could speak, she started claiming that her parents were not her real parents and that she wasn't in her real home. During that period, she had frequent nightmares in which men were breaking through the attic door. Barbo's parents discarded these stories as fantasies. While growing up, Barbo realized that Anne Frank was a famous person and that sharing memories of her past life made people around her uncomfortable. She decided to keep quiet until the age of 10. While visiting Amsterdam with her parents, Barbo was able to find Anne Frank's house without any directions or help from anyone. To the amazement of her parents, she knew the inside of the house. Barbo took her parents directly to Anne's hiding place. Barbo Carlin has struggled through her entire life to overcome the phobias she got in her previous life. Can you imagine how horrible that must be? Paul Gauguin and Peter T. Comte. Peter T. Comte didn't accept the fact that he was the reincarnation of the famous painter until 2005. He was 55 at the moment, but strange experiences he couldn't explain started when he was just a little boy. Without any reason, words, Gauguin, were often on his mind. Peter frequently used them as a cheer. A few decades later, Peter was able to associate them with the surname of the famous artist. During his teenage years, Peter started drawing and developed an interest in the visual arts. His drawings from that period resemble Gauguin's work, but Peter never had a chance to see the drawings produced by the French artist. As if Paul Gauguin was remembering his own work. Through his entire life, Peter experienced similar life situations as Paul did. It was a long process of realization that the two men have more than just a few things in common. Being a painter himself, Peter's work has striking similarities with Gauguin's. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell for more updates, and don't forget to click on the thumbnail. It will motivate me to create more awesome videos for you, and please do share this video with your friends and family members.